Well, for me, I'll just go back a couple of years. This is just prior to COVID. I had a really bad flu and I stopped practicing yoga. So I'm a yoga teacher and I've got 3 herniated discs in my neck, which are putting compression on the nerves in my neck, which goes down my shoulder blade into my arms and whatnot. And I think from practicing yoga, it's kept that at bay for years because that kind of injury is not something that just happens overnight. And so I got this flu and I stopped practicing for 2 months because this flu just went on and on and on and on. And I tried to get back on the mat afterwards, tried to pick up where I left off. And it was like, it had so much inflammation in my neck. The bone was inflamed, everything was inflamed, and I just couldn't get there. And then, of course, COVID came in and all these restrictions, and I ended up losing my studio. So from there, it went on a downhill spiral for about 2 years of just, physical attributes to my neck and everything, not practicing daily like I normally would. And, I mean, let's face it, we've all just been through, one of the biggest turmoils that we would ever go through in our life. And so there I started picking up, bad habits, drinking wine almost daily and just basically not looking after myself, sinking into deep depression. I come from a good background for years of, wellness, nutrition, very huge interest in Eastern medicine and Eastern philosophy. And so when ZenCleanz kind of crossed my path, one of my students, actually, I bumped into him at the organic shop and he was working there and he's gone, "Oh, we've just done the ZenCleanz, it's amazing. You should see what come out of me." And I'm like, yeah, okay. And anyway, I thought about it and I left it for a couple of weeks. And then another guy that I follow on Telegram, Nate Max, he had done it and he did a video of it. So I watched that and I thought, right, okay, twice I'm going to look into it a little bit more. So I did, and I bit the bullet and I bought it. And it's just been a total reset. Someone hit the reset button and it was enough. I looked at the enzymes of what was in there. So pineapple is a big player in some of the enzymes, I believe, the fermented pineapple. And I knew that bromelain, which comes out of pineapple, is extremely good for inflammation as well. So I did the one cleanse and then I just juiced it for a few days and then I did the liver cleanse and oh my God, it was just absolutely amazing on every level, spiritual, mental, physical. It just brought me back to where I need to be, like that, and so I've just been telling other people about it, like this is absolutely amazing. I can't believe what came out of my body, considering I have had a very good diet pretty much all my life. I read a book when I was 18 called Fit for Life, and it was and everything that I know down, the Ayurvedic lifestyle, yogic lifestyle, and this just kind of brings everything together. I mean, I've always known it's through movement, people's bodies are so stagnant. I look around and that's why I want to share it with people, because you just see so much illness in the world and people, they've lost their power, and this just is something that brings your power back. When if people can just get rid of the mental side of things, or the conditioning is probably a better word. Everything that we see on the supermarket shelves is poison pretty much, unless you walk around the outskirts of the supermarket, or going to your organic food shops or growing your own. Everything that we live in such a toxic world, and the television is toxic, and people are just being absolutely brainwashed. That people especially I worry about, the younger generations, because they are so conditioned. And, nature is everything. I mean, look at what Socrates said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. If we look at a spa pool, this is something that I've always said to my students, because we need movement. Everything is stagnant. If you get a pool of water that is just sitting there and there's no movement in that water, it becomes stagnant and dirty. And our bodies are exactly the same. I mean, we're 70% water, you know. So yeah, it just made complete sense. We've got to have that movement. We've got to have the chi moving through our body, but at the same time, we need to be putting the right fuel into our bodies. So yeah, it was just for me a reset button, and it was like overnight I just stopped having that glass of wine of a night time. I remember it was my son's 18th birthday not long after, and I tried to have a glass of wine. This is after the cleanse, and I took a few sips and I was just like, no, don't like it. I tried to have a just, you know, I've got a weakness for chocolate. I do, like, you know, and so it was, I think a week after the cleanse or whatever, and I've tried to just have one little block out of the bar of chocolate, put it in my mouth, and it just didn't even taste the same. It's like, so yeah, it's just been a game changer from there on. Like, all you really want to do is put the goodness back in your body. You've just cleaned your body. It's like automatically your body's going, don't put anything toxic back into me, you know. So from there, I've just been buying. Because I only bought the one kit and the liver kit, I didn't have any enzymes at the end of it, and I was missing the enzymes because I could just feel it's like. So I've bought, you know, a couple of bottles of enzymes, and I take them daily, 60 ml a day, with warm water. And you know, I put it in my little jar with my warm water, and I shake it all up, and I open the jar up, and it's like it's alive, you know. It's just bubbling away at you. It's almost like, hi. So yeah, it's just an amazing product, and knowing the background of where it comes from, that it is, you know, very ancient knowledge, that Daniel, you know, thankfully has brought into the Western world. Yeah, I can't be thankful enough for what it's done for me, and what I hope to help other people achieve in their own lives. You know, as I said, there's so much illness around us. We see so many people unwell. You can just look at the, you know, through their skin and the way their eyes, that, you know. So it's actually pushed me, because I was thinking about it for a while, but I've, you know, signed up to going back to school to study to become an Ayurvedic practitioner this year. What can you say? It's just absolutely amazing what it can do.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. So I mean, we see a lot of parasites coming out of people, and when I did the liver cleanse, and that's where I was really quite amazed, because I've had a pretty good diet, but I did release a few flukes, you know, only 2 or 3, but they were there. I've done 2 liver cleanses now. I didn't get any the second time around. I've done two ones, 2 livers, and I'm about to do another liver, just to, you know, make sure it's all nice and clean. But yeah, getting those parasites out, you have to wonder the link, and everything that I read on the Telegram group and read elsewhere, that they've got to be connected to, because they thrive in that environment on the sugar and the bad things. That, yeah, it was like once they're out of my body, I'm not craving those things like I was, you know. There's so much to this that I just want to delve in deeper. I've got to learn. That's the way my mind works as well. Like, you know, I need to understand how things work. It's like when, you know, I studied yoga, or I became a yoga teacher, or did the teacher training, not to become a teacher, but because I needed to know what was this modality that, you know, just changed my mental, physical health. So this is just, it's almost like the final link in the chain for me, even though having a good diet and knowing how important diet is to have, I really didn't know too much about enzymes or enzyme therapy. And it's the final link for that whole mind, body, spirit connection. Amazing stuff. Really amazing.
And cayenne. and nothing compares. Like, if you've done any other styles of cleansing, like how would you even begin to compare this to the
Well,
enzymes?
yeah, you can't. I've done other cleansers, and yeah, this is just the absolute bomb. Nothing works. Like, you don't, the results are just there within 24 hours, you know, and you don't get that with other cleansers. I find it's really quite gentle on the body, and it does also it releases things, obviously not just on a physical level, but a mental, spiritual level. I know when I did the first liver cleanse, you know, I had quite a traumatic upbringing, and things that I haven't even thought about for years. I was lying on my bed on, you know, on my side with a heat pack to my liver, some nice music in the background, and all of a sudden it was just like a movie playing in my head with all of these past things just coming up as a movie. And I knew, you know, I knew the process. I would absolutely recommend anyone that is going to take on the process to actually get on the Telegram group and educate themselves and hear other people's testimonies, or not even just the testimonies, but when people are actually going through it on the Telegram group, because it was only due to that fact that I was able to sit back and observe what was going on with all of these past memories coming up and understand it for what it was, rather than actually reacting with it and getting upset over it. Or it was just like I was sitting back and observing, even though this was all playing out. So the fact that it can just reset you physically, mentally, and spiritually it's, you know, it's the absolute bomb. I love it. I love it.
But it doesn't allow us to surrender to that process, and
Yeah.
it really doesn't allow us to to discover this secret in persevering. What would you say is the secret to persevere in detoxing?
To breathe, to just um you need to be centered, and that's why I think it's important that people do actually do their bit of research and see what other people are going through, so they don't react and freak out. Or, you know, what's normal, what's, everyone is a little bit different. I just actually a girlfriend of mine recently did the cleanse last week, so this is her first cleanse. Her and her daughter did the one, and yeah, she was going through some emotional stuff. She didn't actually look at, you know, she's busy all the time, and she just did the cleanse, and she struggled with it a little bit, you know. I remember I spoke to her that evening, the day of the one cleanse, and she was just like, I'm not a fan of the cleanse. And then, you know, she was struggling. She felt so bloated. She was just, and I don't think she actually released until the afternoon on the second day. Whereas I would start releasing on the afternoon of the first day of actually taking it, and then I'd have my main release the next morning. So it just does go to show that everyone is different. And yeah, I mean, her tune totally changed after she had finally released, and she actually released quite a big parasite in the one cleanse. And yeah, she was just pretty amazed that that was even inside of her. So it feels so good when we're not see-through, you can't see what's going on down in there, and we don't know what's in there, but you take these cleansers on, and you actually see what's coming out. I was amazed with my liver, because you know, I've maintained a very good diet, and I had gallstones, which I find really amazing, because I actually ended up in hospital April 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago. And I was in there for migraines and nausea. And I think it was from medication that they were giving me. I don't know, but my gallbladder actually enlarged at the time. And they gave me an MRI scan on the gallbladder, because they rushed me, oh no, we need to take that out, you know. And so they gave me an MRI on the gallbladder, and there was no gallstones or anything. There's no blockage. The bile was, you know, moving fine, but for some reason the lining was just. So I actually put it down to possibly toxic medication they were giving me at the time. And Yes. So when I did the liver cleanse and gallstones are coming out, I'm thinking, well, hang on a sec, they gave me an MRI and none of that even showed up. But obviously it wasn't the liver itself that they did it off. So yeah, even though you may think that you've had a really good diet and you don't need to cleanse, I would beg to differ, because yeah, I'm walking living proof that that actually is the case. You can have parasites, you can have gallstones, you can have, you know, lots of fat in there. The liver really is an intricate organ, and I can actually see and understand why people decide to do, you know, a few liver cleanses to really cleanse it out, because it lots of little pathways in there that, you know, can get blocked. And it makes absolute sense that when that is blocked with fats and whatnot, that it's not working properly, that nothing else is working properly. It really does all connect. Gut health and gut is connected to the mental health. So yeah, again, I just love this product. I absolutely love it.
Term
And,
gain.
I mean, that's what everyone wants, the quick fix or the magic pill, you know, that's go to the doctor, get the magic pill, which is only going to give them other symptoms of something else. And it's not, yeah, nothing, it isn't a sprint. It is a marathon, but it is the quickest marathon, because you're not actually having to do that juice fast for 45 days, or the you know, to get the same kind of benefits you're getting in such a much shorter period. And I actually find the enzymes really yummy. I mean, it's definitely, you know, when I first started, it's a roller coaster. You know, there was times where I would feel absolutely euphoric, like on the one cleanse, you know, up to about lunchtime, I was charging and felt, you know, amazing, because it was my first time ever of having enzymes as well. And then, you know, the day goes on and you're still drinking and you're getting bloated and you start feeling tired and irritable, and then but it's just that process, you know. That's, I think, when my girlfriend said I'm not a fan of it, and that she was just going through that process at the time, where it's just like, oh, it feels so awful. Like she said, the thought of even having anything liquid to drink made her, you know, want to vomit. And I hear a lot of people saying that in the chat, that they're vomit. And I do wonder if this is a mental thing, because people are so rigid and tight and not going with the flow. They've got expectations there. And I think that's actually bringing that nausea up. It's making them feel uncomfortable because of the mindset that is going with it. So it is very much a case of, you know, trust the process, expect a roller coaster, expect emotions to come up, expect to feel bloated at times, you know, expect to be running to the toilet with the forgive on that day, or possibly not. You know, there was a lady there the other day that her husband was running and she wasn't. And it just, yeah, I guess, know that everyone is a little bit different. Everyone has had a different diet all their life. They've had different, you know, traumas or medications or whatnot. So everyone is unique, and that journey is going to be completely unique to them. So when I say expect to be running to the toilet, probably I shouldn't say that. Maybe expect no expectations on the journey, but do expect to have a roller coaster in one way or another.
Curious about that sort of inside out approach that ZenCleanz has. You know, that's the whole point of the company, is that inside out experience of cleaning the planet. You know, it's not just ourselves, it is cleaning ourselves, but also helping the planet. So how would you say that the cleansing the body leads to helping to cleanse the planet?
Because it cleanses the mindset, and the people become more in tune with not only themselves, but that whole mind, body, spirit connection. You know, when we look at things as a collective and a collective consciousness, where yeah, you become more connected to yourself and everything around you, nature, everything. So you're just more awareness of everything around you, awareness of health and illness. And so you start to see it around with, the way that humanity is moving and the way that humanity has been, and that if everybody was on this journey, people would be mentally different, more connected, where it would be more holistic for everything. I don't know if that's the right way to I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not quite sure how to get it out. But there's a definite connection, mind, body, spirit, and you want when you've taken this journey, you want it for everybody else. You want people to be shining. I mean, you look at it. If we meet a person on the street who's bright and bubbly, and their skin is beautiful, and their eyes are bright and shining, and they're bright and happy within themselves, because this is, really, it takes you to be happy in yourself before you can be happy anywhere in your life. And there's so many people that are unhappy with themselves, but they don't actually get that, and they project the unhappiness onto everyone around them. So you're kind of more attracted to somebody who is bright and healthy and loving, because they love themselves, they're happy with themselves, as opposed to somebody out on the street where they're dull in mind, body, and spirit. Their eyes are dull, their skin is dull, their body is dull. They're not happy in themselves, so therefore they can't project happiness on to anybody else. And you see so much of that in the world now, because of all the toxins and everything that we live around, that we put into our body, that we put onto our body, that I mean, if everybody was doing it and everybody was happy with themselves, well, it'd be a much happier world to be living in, wouldn't
themselves, see how they can change
like
themselves.
peeling the onions of the layers of an onion, back to who we really are, like, and regaining our sovereignty as humanity, as people. And nature is everything to do with that. I mean, we're here, we're natural beings, we live around nature. So I keep going like this because the window's out there, and that's where nature is. I live on property, so it's nature is everything, and we have forgotten our natural way through conditioning. And if people were living that natural way again, they would start seeing the importance of either growing your own or community gardens, or getting rid of the big corporations and how damaging the big corporations have been in our lives. And I mean, that would reduce packaging on the planet for a start, and plastics, and all of these things that are damaging the earth and nature itself. It all just intermingles with each other. It all really connects. And people, once they've reconnected with themselves and they feel that life force energy, the vitality within them, which you say is that ripple effect or the domino effect onto others, it definitely be living in a much better place. I did want to just say too, anyone that is contemplating doing the cleanses, take the time. We lived in such a rushed society, and it's it's like, oh great, 24-hour cleanse. Yeah, it works quickly on the body. I mean, I would definitely have done the rainbow cleanse. I tried to do my own just by juicing in between, but take the time. Don't just take the cleanse on thinking in 24 hours it's all going to be over and you're done and dusted. It's a constant thing, and you need to really be able to spend that time being with yourself and being that observer and just watching what comes up, on an emotional level, on a physical level. Don't react on it. but take the time. Don't think, okay, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go back to work one day. Try and take a week off and do it in a nurturing way, rather than I'm just going to do this and I'm going to go and do that tomorrow and that. And, you know, I know people do have busy lifestyles, but really, you know, if we're going to invest in ZenCleanz and we're making that investment in ourselves, we need to do it properly.